In another world, another time, it's still time for slimes. This is the OSMcast. Welcome to the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Douglas.
And that's us. By the time this episode comes out of the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome, all three of us have been lucky enough in our own ways to get our second COVID vaccine shot.
Yay.
Which is very exciting, and I was curious on what you think you might be getting as far as your 5G-enabled superpowers.
Well, I'm hoping for a greatly expanded range on my Yuri aura. I'm hoping it'll just enhance my existing superpowers.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it too. I would like my super regeneration to be actually a superpower and not just a lame side effect that makes things grow quickly. No, that's what I want. I want the ability to make things grow quickly, like plants and stuff. That's what I want with my 5G superpowers from my vaccine shot.
I think what I want is the ability to, now that I can go out into the world and not worry about things, I want the ability to be able to go to house just as needed and magically touch upon their console or their streaming device and make the Funimation app work.
That's a pipe dream, Basil. That'll never happen.
Not even the gods themselves possess such power.
That's so ungrounded in reality, I can't even wrap my head around it. Funimation app working. What? That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I figured, I might as well dream, I would love to actually watch anime on, my TV or phone and not just on my laptop. It'd be just so nice. But however you are listening to this episode, I would like to point out that, we do have a Discord if you're interested in chatting with us, or when we put out calls for questions and stuff, you could ask those questions in the Discord. We also post awesome pictures of food. Ann and I have been getting our entertainment room set up, and it looks all nice and full of anime and figures. And watch out, y'all, the princess from Penguin Drum, her statue is a real pill to put together. We had to actually super glue some of the parts together. It was not the best constructed.
Oh, I hate when you have I've had one or two figures like that myself that I'm not sure if it's how they were constructed or if I just got a bum kit, but you need a little bit of extra help to make everything stay in place.
Now my Yuri Bearstorm figures are great.
Oh yeah, I think I got the exact same ones, and they're fine. They just put out on the shelf. They're cool.
And if you would like to help us be able to buy more figures, we do have a Patreon where you could go and subscribe and help keep the lights on and the server costs down. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. I would like if we reached the point of the Patreon where I would actually see Patreon money. That would make me personally happy. But we need to make enough to fulfill all our server and maintenance and update functions before that even leaves the pipe dream land.
I would like us to eventually make enough on Patreon that Basil can quit his crappy job at a retail store and just do OSMcast things. That would be phenomenal.
Wouldn't it though?
It would. It would be genuinely phenomenal.
It is the dream.
I mean, I also want Kevin to be able to quit Walmart, but Walmart seems to treat Kevin less terribly than Basil's current overlord, who he's been loyal to for 20 years or something at this point.
I feel Basil's gotten screwed out of more opportunities than I have, just for comparison, yes.
Yeah.
in order to try and grease the wheels for those who might be interested, I know that I had set up a goal for $500 a month that people could start helping us recommend us things to review. But I think I'm going to lower that down to 200 and hopefully to see if we'll get there. I think the limit was it'll now be 200, and it's you can recommend like a 26 episode series or lower, like a movie or something. It will take that into consideration to review one of those things. But we got to get there first.
What did we set? What did we set the you can recommend a porn for us to watch limit?
You know what? Maybe that'll be the 500.
Okay,
we'll
for 500, we'll review hentai for you.
We will review hentai for money.
That's right.
Oh, okay, that's pretty awesome. I'm satisfied.
And speaking of awesome, let's get into our moments of awesome.
It's a moment of awesome.
Moments of awesome, which are things that we're really enjoying lately that may not get its full episode yet, but it might. Kevin, what you got?
Well, maybe one day we will have a full episode about this, but you know what's really awesome, guys? What is just like the best?
What?
Getting enough sleep. Just getting a nice amount of sleep. Like, as a little context is, I have taken a little off time from work. Like, because normally, roughly around this time of point, I would have been going to MTech, but that's not happening this year. So I'm like, I just need some downtime from work anyway. So I'd asked off and it's like, I've actually slept in a couple of days. I've had a little afternoon nap here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, that makes a world of difference. Like, I feel pretty good.
Sleep is... I don't know. I think I want to disagree with you. Sleep is not that awesome. I've been having a lot of nightmares recently.
Ooh.
Well, not even recently. Just like the nightmares are back. And they're not like night terrors. It's not like something is trying to get me. It's just like, generally unpleasant and stressed out.
Yeah, those are not good. Just, but like just a good night's sleep though is just worth its weight in gold. Although sleep doesn't have weight, but worth a decent weight of gold. Also, I started watching episodes of Critical Role, but they don't need me to shill them. They're super popular. But that's really about it. Just a good night's sleep is just amazing sometimes. You should try it out there if you haven't.
Possibly. I'm still very much into the Dungeon Run, the unofficial, official D&D podcast that you should be listening to, Kevin.
Yeah, I probably should be. I bounced around a Critical Role through indirect reasons. I didn't even set out to watch it, but as soon as I heard Travis Willingham doing a deep Texas accent for his half-orc warlock, I'm like, oh no. I'm going to want to watch all of this.
I mean, that does sound pretty charming. I ain't gonna lie.
It's like, oh no, I don't want to watch 100+ 4-hour episodes. This isn't even their first campaign. They're their second campaign. I don't even want to watch 100+ as they keep going episodes of this. But I'm like, I'll do a lot for that voice. I don't know. It's weird.
So Doug, what you got?
I'm still playing Bravely Default 2. There hasn't been much time for anything else between getting in all of my Bravely Default 2 time.
I need to play more of that. Like, I kind of stalled. It's your guys' fault. I found the card game, and I kind of stalled out playing the card game.
Well, the card game is so good. Like, last time I think I really just talked more, like, all about the card game. This time I'm at the stage. I'm at Magmel, and I'm running around the world through all the portals to get extra stuff.
Like much like in the first Bravely Default game, there came to a point where there are these various like shrine, like pillars, like almost like little mini Stonehenge areas And in the first game, something happens where they suddenly have a whole bunch of optional bosses that you can do to get good stuff. Well, similarly, Bravely Default 2 has a similar looking setup, and it does a different thing where in the first game, you had another set of optional fights that were the different asterisks, but in higher powered and different configurations to really test your mettle and how well you can play the game and break the systems. In Bravely Default 2, they kind of combine the two ideas together, and you get pretty good bonuses for it. But man, some of those fights will really get you.
Yeah. I also put Puppies down as a possible other moment of awesome because my family, like, my older sister has gotten a new puppy. My mother just got a new puppy. My dad has this past year gotten a puppy. So puppies are pretty awesome and pretty relevant.
Puppies everywhere.
Puppies!
I mean,
they're super cute, but they're super dumb. They don't know anything. They just don't know. Like, they're trying their best.
Yeah.
They're trying their best, but they just don't know any better, and so they've just gotta bite it. They've just gotta bite it so that they can see. They can figure it out.
well,
Sharks do the exact same thing.
so much like sharks and puppies, just try.
About puppies, there's actually like a puppy drought right now. Like so many people got pets from COVID that people who responsibly breed puppies have just run out.
Oh no.
So, continue to adopt your pets, folks. Like, adopt, don't shop. My dad and mother both shopped, and so they have very specific breeds of. They've both got designer puppies. Like, they're both like a mix of some kind of poodle. I think one is some kind of spaniel and poodle mix. The other one is a golden retriever poodle mix. That hypoallergenic coat is very popular in the designer doggies. Whereas my older sister just went to the pound, and it just so happened that one of the dogs that they had in the shelter had given birth after it had been in the shelter, and the puppies were just that moment ready to go. So she just lucked into getting a puppy where she had gone in hoping to get like a dog that was maybe like a year or two old. But I have always gone with the tactic of getting a dog that is somewhere between a year and Colin was actually 4 years when we got him. Aww. So I'm in favor of getting the of getting like the adult dogs rather than the puppies, but puppies are cute, and my sister just lucked into one, so that's great.
Well, it's good to adopt animals of any age who, they need homes.
Oh, my little sister recently just adopted. Well, I say just adopted. I don't know if I've talked about this cat on here or not because she adopted him back around Christmas time. But he's an older cat. He's like 13 years old, and he's just the best cat. Like, he just wants to sit in laps and purr, and oh my gosh, he's the best cat. Versus my kitten that I adopted about a year ago. She's now a year-old cat, and she does not want to be touched ever. Like, she's very frightened that you might try to pick her up, and so she scurries away. Yes.
Mine is very happy to be petted, but doesn't want to, like, sit in your lap or anything. She likes to sit near you, but...
Well, I say that she doesn't like to be petted, but the truth is, about once a day, she does want to come up to my side, and then she is very adamant that she wants to be petted right then. But the bottom line is only on her terms and for a very specific amount. But it still is just this complete opposite to Jasper, who will, the moment you sit down, will just climb into your lap and just sit there. Like, you have to pick him up and move him. He will not leave. Like, he just wants to be petted the whole time.
Carbuncle, it varies. Like, I can usually pick her up, and in the mornings, she'll be extremely down to be held and get petted by me. But otherwise, she usually either likes to sit near you, or there are many times where she'll sit, like, by me or by Anna, whoever happens to be in the couch. And then we can pet her then. But we just got a new cat tree for the entertainment room, and there's a little enclosed area, and that's now her new favorite place. So we just lost all our cuddle times to the zone of personal space. And I'm like, why did we do that? Why did we do that? She really, really likes it in there, but why did we do that?
Because you love her.
It's true. So, okay. Now this comes to my moment of awesome, but I very clearly put my moment of awesome to transition to our topic, but I've noticed that someone also put a new topic in there.
Well, because this is a thing that me and Kevin have needed to do. I really want to hear Kevin's perspective on this, and I really want to share my perspective on this, because...
Well, tell you what, go on ahead, and then I'll continue on.
Okay. I want to compare and contrast our opinions on the anime adaptation of Otherside Picnic, and then also briefly talk about Wonder Egg Priority, because we included these as moments of awesome.
Now,
I may remove Wonder Egg Priority because that may be an awesome cast on its own later on.
We also haven't gotten the real last episode, and I haven't watched what is the current last episode, because I'm kind of waiting.
Then let's just talk about Otherside Picnic.
Oh man, I want to say overall, I still like the anime adaptation of Otherside Picnic, but that's an overall.
Yeah, because I'm angry about it. Like, I think I talked about Otherside Picnic because I discovered the manga, and I'm still enjoying the manga. The manga is still fantastic, and I hands down recommend it. But the anime, after a while, now has me angry at it. Because I know
novels are also excellent, but
I know how good it could have been, and to me, it feels like the director didn't quite understand that what is so interesting about Otherside Picnic was the creepy factor of the other side.
Yeah.
But I also wonder how much of that is just that they couldn't show the blood and the gore of some of the more horrific things.
That too, and I kind of thought when it started, like, I thought it might get to the cult arc as the ending, and I was a little upset we didn't get there.
Yeah, well, the manga certainly isn't anywhere near the cult arc, so...
Oh, okay, well, that's a thing.
I only vaguely know about it because I went to various wikis to try to see if other people were as angry about the anime adaptation. Because, like I said, it feels like the director forgot at some point that that's what was interesting about it and just wanted to focus on the relationship of the two girls.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, like 90% of the novel is Sorrow being like, holy crap, she is so hot. She is so hot. She killed that monster in such a hot way.
Well, I mean, they definitely do have a relationship, and I really do enjoy that, but I don't want to sacrifice cool monster crap for cute girl time.
Right. And the story has both, and I feel both are important.
Like, the manga in my opinion, the manga has the right amount of time of Sora will kind of off to the side be reflecting about how wonderful it is that, they've met and that she'll, like, outright say stuff to each other, and they'll have these cute little moments, but it's like a couple of panels in the mix of this greater, like, story, and...
Yeah. I also am a little ticked that I guess I realized they wanted that second soldier arc as the finale, and I'm like, oh, but you had to rearrange so much stuff to get there.
I know. They had to rearrange so much stuff. But even in the manga, going back to rescue the soldiers did, like, they did leave and then go on like another adventure and then come back. So I
Yeah.
was fine with the interruption. It's just they just did it so poorly. Like they just
Yeah.
put so much filler nonsense. Like what the fuck was up with the Ninja Cats thing?
Oh, I love the Ninja Cat story, but I mean that should have happened later.
Like I'm not okay with the Ninja Cat storyline. That I was very frustrated by it.
Well, I really wanted to see the Ninja Cat episode. I wanted that to be an episode, so I'm glad that happened. But
Okay.
it apparently is a real Japanese creepypasta, so yeah.
Uh,
Actually, I
uh,
like in the novel she ever so often she gets frustrated because she's like her actual college area of study is ghost stories, and all this creepypasta shit kind of pisses her off on a core level. But
okay,
she's
I
familiar with it because of her studies.
I don't quite understand the difference between what to the Japanese mind, what is the difference between ghost stories and creepypasta bullshit?
Uh,
Cuz
I
from
actually really think it's just more time and establishment.
okay, cuz from my perspective they're pretty much the same thing anyway.
hmm
Uh
And to a certain extent, narrative flow, because for like the more modern stuff, but still, I do like also the novels. There's every novel is an afterword where the author discusses where they found the stories that inspired each episode slash chapter or whatever.
yeah. Well,
Uh, but like it, I don't know. Novels are super good. From what I can hear, the manga sounds super good. The anime is merely okay, which is in a way really disappointing because I was super looking forward to it.
yeah, for something that has the source material that is as good as the source material is, I felt the anime was wildly underwhelming, and it's coming out at this in the same time as Wonder Egg Priority, which the shows are not the same thing really at all.
No,
But
but
they're really not the same thing. But if I
I
just
think they
felt
kind
like
of
Wonder
tap into similar. They tap into a similar sort of interest, though.
yeah, like they've both got a vaguely creepy vibe. Uh, they both are focused on ladies as our protagonists. So they do kind of tap into this thing, but Wonder Egg Priority so radically outshines uh Otherside Picnic that it makes me angry on behalf of Otherside Picnic that this anime adaptation was just no good.
Yeah, I think Wonder Egg could completely face plant its landing and still have me feeling that.
And
We don't know if it'll face plant its landing yet. It's still got an episode to go.
Like it could completely blow its end. Like it'd have to like really alienate me in the final episode to make me feel different.
but a show that's already have come out and is not in remotely a complete faceplant. It's rather the opposite, and that's Dear Brother,
Ah,
which
yes.
Discotheque just announced. Pre-orders for the Blu-ray for it are up. And I'm only mentioning this now because it comes out in June, but there's only they have a small time to actually make and sell these discs before the license just goes poof. So this is more of a general PSA that y'all need to go out and pre-order Dear Brother on Blu-ray.
Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
this is Ryoko Ikeda and Osamu Dezaki at their most. Ryoko Ikeda and Osamu Dezaki. There are some out there who will understand exactly what that means.
I am not one of those people. It doesn't I know that is important to you, and so I care about it, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
Oh, one day it will, because we're going to get these Blu-rays.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
an excellent series for, what it's worth. It's an excellent series, and I am praying with all my heart, based on some things Discotheque has said, that the previously existing translation really blew it in the last episode for me, and I think they're going to fix it.
And then my other PSA for folks, because this should still be going by the time this episode releases, but Kodansha is doing a spring anime season humble manga bundle.
Ooh.
And a lot of the things are some pretty good stuff. Like, for $1, you could get Eden Zero, Tokyo Revengers Volume 1, To Your Eternity Volume 1, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro Volume 1, or That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Manga Volume 1. And as you throw more dollars into it, up to 30, you get even more stuff like Farewell, My Dear Kramer, The Slime Diaries, more books of Eden Zero, or That Time You Got Reincarnated as Slime, or To Your Eternity. I think one of the higher end ones gets you pretty much, I think, almost all of the 7 Deadly Sins digitally. So
I think I actually have almost all of that. I have a different humble bundle, but
no, Kodansha does really good bundles, and to date us, like, there's 20 days left right now, but I'm pretty sure there'll still at least be a week left by this time this episode gets out. And for $30, you can get a whole lot of digital manga, a whole lot that's multi-format, DRM free. Like, it's good stuff. It's all going to charity to stop AAPI hate, which I believe is Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with some real shit right now and they shouldn't
dealing
be.
with some shit.
So, it's a good bundle. It's a great cause. And it features That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, which coincidentally is our topic for this episode. So we'll be right back. This is the OSMcast. And we're back. This is the OSMcast, and we're talking about slimes and reincarnation, but really to kick things off, the concept of isekai, which is someone getting trapped in another world. You may have think about it as, classic American things like The Wizard of Oz, or modern day future classics like the sequel to Space Jam. Where he's not in Kansas anymore. He's getting sent straight through the WB universe by Don Cheadle, past Game of Thrones, and right into Looney Tunes.
I'm so glad that you mentioned The Wizard of Oz, because I saw that you were just wanting to bring up what our experience with it is, and I was kind of wondering, where are we drawing the line? Because technically, The Lion, the Witch, in the Wardrobe is an isekai, as well as The Wizard of Oz.
Lion, Witch. Okay, Wizard of Oz is 1900. I don't know when Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was written.
More recent. It's more recent than The Wizard of Oz.
Okay. See, what I checked in our little pause, I checked Wizard of Oz and I checked John Carter of Mars. Wizard of Oz is exactly 1900. Like, Wizard of Oz was the year 1900 and is like, that's about as isekai.
Yeah, is that the earliest isekai we can think of?
I believe
at least
if you look at
popular fiction,
Alice Adventures in Wonderland was 1865.
Oh, that's true. Alice in Wonderland is a good one. That's a good example.
Now we are talking about like manga and light novels and anime, and really, I guess one of the earlier ones you could use is Aura Battler Dunbine, which was in 1983. Although I would think that we probably more would think of things like Vision of Escaflowne or Fushigi Yugi or even, Magic Knight Rayearth as more of those early days. But at some point, Sword Art Online. Isekai kind of changed, and instead of just being sort of in a nice, different, unique fantasy worlds, they became much more about JRPG worlds.
Yeah. Before we get too deep into slime, I'm going to say slime is a general exception to this rule. But man, I miss when isekai was about empowering women by taking them outside of societal norms and less about fulfilling male power fantasies.
Yeah.
But there are exceptions.
And so that's really, I was saying, more of my experiences, because, I pretty much only watch one modern day isekai, which is the slime stuff. I haven't really watched any of the other stuff, but I know both of y'all have watched more of the modern day isekai stuff, whether it's like the into a virtual world like Log Horizon, or just in fantasy worlds that are very much JRPG inspired, things like ReZero.
Yeah, I've absorbed a few in spite of myself. Probably just hungry for good fantasy anime, and it's hard to get that sometimes.
Because they're all isekais now.
I know, right?
They're almost like all isekais. You can't get just like, I can't just have like a Slayers.
Nope.
Yeah. Man, I miss Slayers, guys. I miss Slayers so much.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime, like we said, it's an isekai. It also is an interesting thing that happens. It's kind of unique to Japan as far as I can tell, in that we know what light novels are, which are kind of like, in English, you're thinking like more of the young adult novels. They feel like they're a little bit shorter than your gigantic mega books that are novels. And in Japan, a lot of anime are based off light novels. But also in Japan, there's this website called Setsuka Ninaro, or Let's Become a Novelist. It's a user-generated novel publishing website where users can upload their novels free of charge, and novels are also free to read. And as it turns out, a lot of the stuff that gets made into anime, not only are there light novels, but they actually start here on Let's Become a Novelist that actually get acquired by actual publishers to then change them to actual light novels. Things like, I'm just glancing here at this big old list of things, like Konosuba, Log Horizon, Overlord, So I'm a Spider, So What, ReZero, a bunch of stuff is actually, they start their lives as web novels, and then they actually get picked up and then are reworked as light novels, and those things get adapted into things like manga and anime. Such is the case with That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I remember several times reading the light novels because they're currently being published by Yen Press, where Fuse, the author, is talking about, yeah, I know these things happened in the web novel, but I'm doing it like this in the light novel. And yeah, I told my editor it was going to be a shorter book this time, and it turns out, no, it's even longer, but they'll deal. It's fine. Or, yeah, I know this has come out sooner, but what are deadlines anyways? I'm like, oh, you're such an author, Fuse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's really interesting to know that Japan does it that way, because one of the complaints that people have about America's novel writing industry is that it's a little bit gatekeepery.
Yeah.
And so this kind of does pose an interesting suggestion for how to get around the inherent gatekeeperness um of an industry like that.
Well, I can say Amazon has a lot of self-published novels on there that are, if you've got a Kindle Unlimited subscription, you can read just about all of them that you want. And it's a lot of similar subject matter to what's popular in light novels. Although, man, I've read so much garbage fiction with a Kindle Unlimited subscription. There's so many awful books. But that's sort of out there. I feel it's not as Wild West as Japan is, but
Yen Press actually does release the light novels here in America. Also, there is And it's written by Fuse, illustrated by Mitzvah, where they do a lot of illustrations through, and that sort of creates the general visual look that defines the series. They also do a manga version written by Fuse, and it's illustrated by Taiki Kawakami, and that's published by Kodansha, which you can get in that Humble Bundle. And then the anime is adapted by a studio called 8-Bit, which are actually a bunch of folks that used to work at Satellite and then decided to make their own animation studio.
So, they're good people.
Well, they are. Like, for example, the director of the show, at least for the first season, was a guy named Yasuhito Kikuchi, and he directed things like, I don't know, Macross Frontier, and El Hazard, the Alternative World, the TV show. Which,
that's the bad one.
Yes, but it is an isekai, if you think about it.
It is.
He's also worked on stuff like all sorts of things, but he also has his assistant, which was Atsushi Nakayama, and the second season and beyond, this is actually his first chance to direct an anime himself, but he worked on, as an episode director, on all sorts of things like Aquarian Evil, Mahajin Guru Guru, Is This a Zombie, Konosuba, like a lot of stuff. And watching the second season, he very much gets what made the first season good, and they're still doing it. So awesome. Yeah. The guy that wrote the adaptation is a guy named Kazuyuki Furuyasu, worked on Yatterman Night, Milky Homes, a bunch of episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Hajiro Ippo, and yes, Black Clover. But that just shows you the person knows how to adapt existing material. The music was done by Elements Garden, and as far as I can tell, that's a collective, but the founder is a person named Noriyasu Agematsu, who did the composing for the slime stuff. They also worked on stuff like Bodacious Space Pirates, Symphogear, a lot of the music for Utena Princima, and even the Wild Arms games. So what I'm saying is, they know how to write music for an anime that's more or less a JRPG.
That's true. Man, I want a JRPG of Symphogear, but that's neither here nor there.
So, with that out of the way, what is A Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime? As you may wonder, there's this guy, you gotta have the isekai, right? So, we have Satoru Mikami, who's actually voiced by Takuma Terashima, who actually did the original couple of openings. And he is just a salaryman who works at a company, and he mentions how he's never had a girlfriend, but he's got his buddy who he's a senpai for, and he's about to get married to another person they know at work, and they are getting together, and someone out of nowhere comes at him with a knife, and Satoru takes the hit. And as he is dying on the floor of the road, he suddenly hears all these voices asking him questions. Next thing he knows, he is a slime in a fantasy world in a cave. And that's really what got me originally, because I have not really had much interest in the isekai genre, mostly because it kind of has upended and taken over the fantasy genre at large. And I didn't want to have to do with any of it. And both Doug and Kevin are like, okay, we get that. But if you gotta watch one, you need to watch this one.
Yeah, I like that.
The next one you need to watch is ReZero, but I digress.
I don't like ReZero though, but that's a
no. Okay,
I don't like
on.
ReZero. But I was gonna say, what I feel differentiates Reincarnated as a Slime from a lot of its other cousins is our protagonist before he comes to the magical fantasy world. One is an adult with a real job, but he's pretty. Other than not having a girlfriend, he's kind of got his shit together. Like he's a genuinely nice guy who is, living a normal life and is maybe not 100% happy, but certainly isn't really unhappy either. And it's just like so many of these characters, whether the narrative tries to tell us they are likable or not, are kind of little shits. Like, you learn way too much about the author sometimes and how their isekai protagonists act.
Yeah.
But it's like I like Rimuru or Satoru because he seems good. He just seems like a good, solid guy, even before we get into the fantasy world. And he kind of just continues on that trend of being a nice, good, solid slime. Well, gelatinous, I suppose. But I
Huh.
really feel that the way they frame our protagonist is very much a core of why I like the series.
And so he starts off in this cave, and he's a slime. He has abilities and things, because apparently one of the rules of this weird world that he now lives in is if people come in from another world, which by and large is our world to this world, get special abilities out of the deal of transferring over. And one of the abilities he gets is called Great Sage, and another ability he gets is called Predator, which allows him to subsume other abilities for himself. And Great Sage actually knows what the deal is in the world and can analyze stuff and tell him how things actually work. So he uses this to sort of check out the places. He kind of doesn't have eyes, so he's sort of just feeling around and getting stuff analyzed by Great Sage, and they're having a good time of it until, as you do, you meet a dragon.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. As you do. And so he meets Veldora, the Storm Dragon. He's one of the 4 original true dragons. Look, he's a big deal. And not just because he tells you that he's a big deal. Because he will. He'll definitely make sure that you have to understand that he is a very big deal. In fact, he is now trapped in this seal that he can't get out of because he just so casually burnt down a town 200 years ago.
Like you do.
Well, I mean, especially if you're a dragon.
It happens. It's an occupational hazard.
And so Veldora is also very bored. And Rimuru is someone new. And Rimuru is a slime. And so they actually hit it off. And Veldora actually shows Rimuru how to literally open his eyes and be able to see and experience the world in more ways than just his slime touch. And they become friends. They give each other names. And that's a very important thing for later. And so Rimuru leaves this cave accidentally way more overpowered than any slime should be. As you do in an isekai.
Yeah. Because, basically everything he's ever eaten, he's picked up the powers from.
And because this cave has had this super awesome elder true dragon in here, he's just putting off magic like crazy. And so everything in this cave is actually kind of powerful, which is why no one ever actually goes into this cave. And because Rimuru has used his predator ability so many times, he's more or less leveled up a whole lot and hasn't realized it yet. And essentially, as the show goes on, more things happen. He befriends folks. Folks actually start coming sort of under his tutelage and under his domain. He builds a town, and just things keep popping off as Rimuru constantly is showing that he actually does have his stuff together, and he is using his more modern sensibilities to make actual changes to this world that really wasn't ready for him.
Yes, his middle management skills come in handy. Although I do also love that in this series, the quote-unquote good guys, which really shouldn't be quotes around, the good guys are basically the kind of monsters you'd be killing in most JRPGs. Like starting with slimes and goblins, and it's like
Well,
these are our good guys.
That becomes a big issue later. I'm aware of one of the questions that we received, and I'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
But I think that is a bigger thematic issue than you realize. But yeah, the starting thing is basically Rimuru just wants to be comfortable, and as it turns out, that's a much better motivation for taking over the world than actually wanting power or anything.
I just like sometimes we just see happy little goblin families walking around, and it's like, oh, that's nice.
And because of Rimuru's, who I guess you point out is Rimuru Tempest, and now Veldora Tempest, because now they're bros, in a much more literal sense than anyone realizes. Yeah. He keeps getting up there in power, and it's not even so much just because of his own innate power that he's getting, but literally the friends he's making along the way. Because every time something rolls up on Rimuru, many times they come out of it, or at least some of the people who are involved come out of it, his friends and his followers, and they're better for it.
Because he's just a nice guy, and some people are willing to realize that.
Now, I also do think there's this thing where he is becoming a more and more important monster, and so the monsters that are under him sort of look up to him in a way that he doesn't quite understand at first, that no, he is their important person, he is their leader, he is head monster, that's why they're listening to you.
He is the great hope of the collective monster races for a better world.
I'm not saying Rimuru is Bernie Sanders, but I'm also not saying that either.
You're not saying that.
You're not entirely not wrong.
Well, really early on, one of the big things is that he gives everybody a name, and as in this world, having a name gives you a huge power, and it takes a lot of magical energy out of Rimuru for everybody to get a name and level up. And Rimuru is just giving out these names because it's expedient and easy to do so.
Like the personal cost of it discourages even powerful monsters from like naming their underlings, but he just gives out names to people, like, oh, and it's like regular goblins become hobgoblins, it's like you get a power boost.
And that's one of the things you don't actually even get to really, you get into it a little bit in the anime, but in the light novels, like, he really goes into it because he realizes things like, oh, hey, there's this goblin village that wants to get names. Okay, cool. Oh god, there's a lot of people in this village, aren't there? Ah, snap. I gotta figure out names for everyone? Okay, this ain't gonna work. Alright, I'm gonna figure out a system that I can name them all real fast, real easy like. He also gets into, like, the really interested on a philosophical level, an intellectual level, like, on the breeding patterns of goblins, and I'm like, I remember that's okay, your otaku show in there, yeah, but they don't really cover that in the anime. It's probably better for that.
Yeah, it's probably better that they don't cover that.
But it's just a really fun show, just watching through the power of, like Kevin mentioned, middle management, but also sweet powers, that Rimuru is becoming more important in the world. He meets humans, he befriends kingdoms.
Yeah,
bad
there's
things
a few token human friends in there. Just, a few token humans.
Well, and there is a whole fantasy world here. There are different kingdoms. There are power balances in play. And this slime is upending everything.
It becomes more clear later on that he is turning the world a little bit on its ear.
And there's not even just people. There are these beings known as demon lords, which are these magical creatures that have absurd amounts of powers, and they're just, you know, nuclear arsenals of power in their own right. And so they also own their own little mini kingdoms here and there. And that's a whole separate power struggle just from all the actual kingdoms and organizations that exist.
And he kind of inadvertently puts himself up on the world stage amongst them, whether he meant to or not.
Yeah, and so a lot of the conflict of this series is just how clueless Rimuru is about how the actual world works around here, and the people who want to befriend him for it, but also the people that want to try and take advantage of him for it. And so you get these sort of magical adventures, but also this political stage, and how does that work out, and how can Rimuru best, for his little village that eventually becomes a much bigger thing, how does he keep the folks that are under his purview safe and happy, and how can he carve out his comfortable space that he wants to show off to this world?
Yeah. The other nations of the world just need to let Rimuru make the world a better place and get over it. But if they did, there'd be no conflict.
Well, there's also other stuff. Like, there is a general overarching plot where there's this character named Shizue that has her own deal. And she's one of the earlier human characters that Rimuru meets. She's another Outworlder. And she has her own situations that eventually impact Rimuru in really, really important ways that helps set the tone and the storyline throughout the rest of the series. And that's what gets him involved with other demon lords and some of these other nations, because she is a hero. She made her own name in the world doing her own thing, but there's some stuff that she can't deal with herself, and she needs his help to do it.
Yeah, she's got the implications of a backstory that make its own epic isekai series, but and interestingly came from Japan, from a whole different era than Rimuru did, but
and you also get to meet all sorts of cool characters. There's some really awesome goblins you meet. There's some awesome dwarves. There's various oni and lizard folks and ogres and just all sorts of just great. There's some awesome wolves. Like, because everything is sort of based off all these various monster races that actually form the most of the core of the cast of this show, you get just a really, really varied visual and personality mix that's just a lot of fun to see, explored.
The strength of the show really is in the world building.
Yeah, like I said, I love seeing especially as the town gets more developed and you get little town shots of all the monster citizens just going about their daily lives. And it's like, yes, you should have a world where you can be pals with orcs. That makes sense.
Well, prior to Rimuru, they were all living in huts, and now they're having a nice little city.
Yeah. It's like, yes, teach the goblins. Yes, make them be pals with the goblins. Be pals with the lizard people.
They've never had the chance, by and large, to be civilized, to actually have their own civilization, their own actual quality of life where they could actually think about more things besides just sheer survival. And Rimuru is able to create that for them and to guide them for them. And that allows them to be like, okay, hey, we can be just as important and as civilized as humankind can be. And humankind doesn't quite get that at first.
Yeah. Bring in a couple bored dwarf artificers to teach everybody how to make plumbing and shit.
Yeah, we don't even deal with any humans for a pretty long time. Like, we have the couple of hapless adventurers, but mostly we start moving on to the he makes peace with the dwarves first before he goes on to humans.
Yeah, like first he just kind of makes friends with the monsters in the surrounding area for where he wandered into, and then it's like, oh, what's the nearest neighboring thing? Oh, it's some dwarves. Well, let's go talk to the dwarves. They're probably cool.
And thankfully they are cool.
Yeah.
Thankfully they are cool.
I don't think they run into any real solid conflict till they talk to the lizard man.
Now there was a definitely conflict with not the goblins themselves, but what the goblins were dealing with.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So there was definitely conflict, but I think if we keep going, we're going to start digging into some real spoilers here.
Oh yeah. I mean, there are spoilers. It's like.
So I think we're ready to take a break, and we're going to come back with our spoilers about that time I got reincarnated as a slime. This is the OSMcast. And we're back with spoilers for that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Spoilers. So, man, the Onis. I love the Oni.
I also love the Oni. Okay, spoilers. Is this related to the Oni? Since we're in spoilers, when the monsters power up, it actually has bothered me that they have largely become more human looking.
So
just a little.
I think that's important because what we haven't really gotten into is the fact that while Rimuru is a slime, he used to be a human, and he really wants these monsters to be more human too. Because that's what he knows. And I think... It
bothers me a little with the Oni, because they get... I kind of like their slightly more bestial look to start with. It bothers me more of the lizard people, where like the female lizard people just turned into like sexy winged girls.
Well, I think some of them do, and I think some of them don't.
Yeah.
Much like I think there's some also hot lizards do. It's just that Gabble is just not one of them.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it really is a case of Rimuru, he wants the humanity stuff to happen for the monsters. He wants them to be more human like he used to be. And it isn't until later on that he more accepts his monsterness. But humanity is what he knows. He actually makes important rules that eventually bite him in the butt about how to deal with humanity.
Yeah, because one of his first rules is not to attack people.
And so I think as monsters, as he names them, those monsters are now, connected via magic to Rimuru. Like, he is their lord, literally. Yeah. I don't think they have a choice to think otherwise. He constantly gives folks a chance to not, but I don't think he gets that no. Once you name them, they're yours. You are their vassal. They are beholden to you because they are now literally underneath you in the power organization of your existence, Rimuru.
Which, at least watching the anime, I think really only became clear to me here towards the end of the second season. But
yeah, I think that's why whenever time they evolve, a lot of them become more human-like because that benefits Rimuru's worldview. I think that's why they're always so much on board with what he wants to do, because he's the lead monster. Of course they're going to agree.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I'd hang with the Oni all day, any day. That they're cool. And
there's just so much wonderful comedic time with things like everyone dealing with Hakuro.
Yeah.
And just how good he is at swordsmanship and how ruthless he is as an instructor of swordsmanship.
Yeah, training the various characters who show any inclination towards swordsmanship and being absolutely brutal to them.
Like, my other favorite character, especially in novels, is Gobta.
Yeah.
The small hobgoblin who should not in any ways be remotely badass, but as the show goes on and the series goes on, he gets more and more inexplicably badass.
Yeah, and he's the only one who didn't have a major physical change when he became a hobgoblin. He stays still basically looking like tiny little goblin guy. When most everyone else at least got a few inches on him for the. But yeah, it's in the second season, but I really love when it's like, oh, it's Hakuro and Gabuta and like the leader of the orcs, and there was somebody else there. They kind of team up to fight the evil isekai kids. And it's like, oh, this one goes out to every goblin who's been minding their own business till for a bunch of human adventurers kicked in their door and started some shit. Like, I seriously find myself rooting for the monsters. I mean, I know there are protagonists, but I like being able to root for the monsters. I like that a lot.
And this also really gets me just how much, like, she is not in the story that long.
No, but she is tremendously important.
Yeah,
Like,
she has a huge impact.
Like, huge. Even, like, I know I'm reading the novels as they come out, but even, like, the latest novel that came out, like, in January, like, she still had huge ripples of things that she affected when she was around. And the fact that Rimuru took her on literally as himself, like, has definitely changed things.
Yeah, like, since we're in spoilers, the only reason Rimuru even gets a human appearance is because he had to eat this woman for her own sake. He had to kill her.
Yeah, like in the first season, I totally thought she was going to be the love interest, and you can make the argument that she is.
Like, it's heavily implied she is like his soulmate. And that becomes more literal than expected. But
she does request. She is the one who requests that he consume her so that she can live on through him.
that's so her powers don't go out of control and cause massive destruction. And that's how he gets a human form. Like, it's a little bit edited for because I think he thinks of himself as male, but
from what I have seen of other materials, I think the general consensus is that he's male underneath, but I don't know why that was decided upon or how.
I feel like as a slime, like I may be reading into this, but I feel like he has sort of a vague attachment to the concept of gender. Like, only in the most vague sense. Because, I mean, it's like he's anatomically as correct as a Ken doll. Although
he say that at some point?
He does like the boobies, though. But who can blame him?
One could even argue that that's also the closest thing they are to slimes.
Yeah.
In certain respects.
The perviest element of the show with his protagonist, he does not mind being cradled under nice boobs, like in his slime form. That he likes that. That's, that's the perviest he gets. It's just like, yeah, this is nice. I like to be carried around. The people who like to carry me around are mostly hot ladies, and I'm okay with that. And, compared to a lot of isekai anime, that's pretty mild.
And then, of course, there's also all these demon lords we've mentioned, and we've got, like, Milam and Clayman, and there's all sorts of, man, gosh, y'all are in for it when stuff happens. But
there's a roster. I'm sort of aware of their existence, and I am curious about here in the second season what's going on with Milam, because she just kind of came and hung out in the town and was like, we know she's ridiculously stronger than the rest of us, but she's happy to sit around and eat stuff, so we let her hang around. And it seems like she's a bad guy.
There are certainly things at play.
Yeah. So when the show comes back to that, and I'm pretty sure it will, I'm curious where that's going, but it's like, she seems so nice, if inclined to wreck shit by accident.
Yeah, no, this series also does. It's the closest I feel in a long time that sort of channels that sort of Slayers-ish energy, where it has no problems doing stuff for comedy and also wrecking large amounts of land for comedy.
Yeah, I like my fantasy series that can crack a joke sometimes. It definitely does that.
Sorry, I'm also keeping myself under taps because, again, the light novels have moved very on. That's why I didn't feel so bad about doing this episode,
Yeah.
because the first season was very good. It was a very good adaptation of the light novel material, and the first half of the second season is also doing that. And as I've read ahead the light novels themselves, I know that if Studio 8-bit is doing what they're doing for the foreseeable future, it's just going to be more good show.
Yeah.
So I have
I
no
only
qualms in recommending it to anybody who wants to watch an
right.
isekai.
I honestly thought I would have been reading into the light novels by this point, but I got sidetracked into other things, and I'm fairly committed in a lengthy light novel series at the moment. I wish they were on Kindle Unlimited. That would make things a lot easier.
But no, you do get to learn more about the various demon lords and what their deal is, and how Rumor Tempest will eventually deal with them and potentially become a demon lord himself. This is spoiler, so if you've watched the first
I mean,
season and half season, you know that he has now just recently actually became a demon lord himself.
yeah, yeah, that's a thing. I want to see where that goes. Um,
Oh yeah, it goes places. Oh man, like I am really, really hyped that they finally introduced one of my favorite characters, Diablo.
oh, good. I've only had like a couple minutes with Diablo, and if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in the room and then myself, as the meme goes. Like, oh, I am weak versus the demon butler. I know that's not
he's
unique in anime,
he's
but
the best demon butler, and I'm saying this knowing that there's an entire anime about a demon butler. Like he is the best demon butler, largely because he's not a pedophile as far as I can tell.
No, he is into one person and one person only, and that's Rimuru. In
that could be
fact,
described a lot of characters in the series.
well, yes, in fact, a very good source of future comedic issues is going to be the rivalry that Diablo and Shion have on
Oh,
who is Rimuru's best and favorite assistant.
butler versus secretary.
Yeah,
Who is
man,
deadliest?
it's going to be the war for the ages, and
I do love Shion also. It's hard. I don't make me choose. Don't make me choose between my children.
and there's just so many good things coming, Kevin. You don't know. You just don't know. Ah, it's so annoying, but it's so exciting. I cannot wait for the second half of the season. I'm actually pretty happy, though, that we were at least getting the anime adaptation of the Slime Diaries, which is a 4-coma manga offshoot that's now getting an anime. And it's a pretty good, just, slime friends, but acting like the idiots, the wonderful idiots that they are, in a sort of a comedy anime form.
It's
Like,
sort of the day-to-day life antics when the fate of the world isn't at stake.
right. Like, I was thinking of it sort of as more as a slime cool as manga Dio. I know Jess from Momocon, she had mentioned it. She reminded me a lot of Full Metal Panic Fumofu vibes.
My
Oh,
brain
I
first
loved Full Metal Panic from Mofu.
My brain first went to my meal with today's meal with the Emiya family Fate spinoff, and it's like we just your light version of your character antics, just focused on that.
So, unless there are other spoilery talk that y'all want to get into now, I think it's pretty okay if we just transition right on into questions.
Okay. Yes.
I know the only other spoilery-ish thing I really want to talk to is going to come up in the question, so yes.
Right, right. That's what I was thinking. So let's just get right into it. Tobias asks, at Reverend_Tobias, why do you think Slime Isekai in particular took off with so many other similar shows coming out every season?
Because the protagonist is actually likable. We're not told he's likable.
I do think it has. This is a really complex topic, and I don't know how to fully address it with the way we've kind of been prattling on.
Yeah, I
Uh,
admittedly I'm oversimplifying, but
uh, Largely, I think the slime took off one because there is appeal of the slime monster. Dragon Quest instilled it. It's pretty deeply entrenched in Japanese otaku culture, is the sort of adoration for the slime, and that's also translated uh over to anime fans here. So part of it is because he is specifically a slime. He's a creature that we already are predisposed to liking a little bit. Next up, he's relatable without being offensive. Like, he's got a little bit of a pervy side to him, and we know that we know that he was a little bit of something. He had something going on, being as how he got to being a 40-year-old without ever having being a 40-year-old virgin.
uh, oh yeah, and I do recall that he made his friend promise to destroy his hard drive.
Yeah, that's how he got the ability Great Sage. He made the joke, if you get to 30 as a virgin and you're a wizard, I guess that means if you get to 40, you become a Great Sage. That's his joke at the beginning, and that joke is what translated it into his power select. And I think, as anime nerds, there is a part that can totally relate to that. But then he's not shown to have any of the cringier aspects of our ilk. Uh,
Yeah.
the worst we see is that his hard drive gets destroyed, so we don't know what he was up to. But he at least seems to be somewhat wholesome in the fantasy world, so we can truly get into an escape. And he's not going after a power fantasy. He's just kind of doodling about. In a lot of ways, I think this show started out as a little bit of a deconstruction of the genre, but then went into the genre wholeheartedly. And it's really the embracement of kind of the best things about the isekai genre. We've got our JRPG world. We're obviously in an escapist fantasy, but at the same time, we're not we're not being confronted with a lot of the things that make isekai kind of, it's what bothers us about isekai that's
Well,
not present.
until the second season when they bring in the evil isekai kids.
Yeah.
And they're
Well,
like, "Oh, they're the worst parts of the isekai genre."
well, even at the end of the first season, when we get introduced to the idea that there is an entire school of magic children out there somewhere, um, we don't really touch on it until then, so we kind of get to genuinely deal with an isekai world without having to deal with any of its baggage. And that, I think, is part of why slime anime took off more so than any others. Does that
And
make sense?
it
Yeah.
does. And this is also a case of it's actually one of the best-selling titles like in Japan. It is in fact the first manga series based off a light novel that has at least 20 million total copies in print.
Another factor that's going to be why this one is so popular, as opposed to why others haven't been quite as successful. I thought, oh god, I can't remember what I was even thinking. But oh no, I remember now. Okay, it's the world building. Let's see, the one of the other isekais that's doing really well, at least in the manga form, is Dr. Stone. And Dr. Stone addresses outright, no, the interesting part is building the whole world, the whole civilization to what we want it to be. So I think that gets echoed in slime. So part of like what you guys sat there talking about for so long was just how interesting it was that he builds up this town of monsters from nothing into pretty much a modern-ish city. And that is in the anime Dr. Stone, they point out that that is directly the interesting part, and that is exactly what is happening in slime anime, only we're not going through bit by bit the science portions.
And I would also point out, at least where the anime is concerned, the Studio 8-bit, they did a real good job making this show real purty.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, Mitzvah has some really good character designs that was adapted incredibly well into animated form. It moves very smooth. The action is very kinetic. The sound design is just rock solid. And just the way they make use of the various lower bass channels and tones and stuff to the like as they're doing all their awesome like abilities. And imagine how like if you got a good subwoofer, man, this is a treat for the ears. And that's not including how well done the music is. It's got really good bops for the openings and endings. Like, the characters are simply lively. The voice acting is on point. Like, just as an piece of animation and storytelling as a show, it does a really good job of it.
Well, in interviews, they talk about in interviews with the animation studios, they talk about the struggles that they had. How do you show all of these expressions and feelings and things on a creature that, by its very definition, doesn't have any features to show that with? And so they had to come up with these solutions for how to do that, and they did it very well. Rimuru, the slime, ends up being super expressive and super emotive, even though he is just a slime. Like, they do it like with reflections of light and the shadows of the goo within him, but it ends up being amazing looking, and you totally know what that slime is thinking and feeling. Even without having eyes or anything. Anything else on that subject?
I think we've covered it pretty well. Nico at Nico Scream asks, what skills would Rimuru get from absorbing you all? I mean, clearly quality podcasting abilities.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd get anything that he doesn't already have.
Well, as I mentioned at the start of the show, I do have my Yuri aura. And Rimuru knows a lot of good-looking ladies. It might work out.
What other abilities could... I mean, the best parts of me is the fact that Anna married me. And you'd have to absorb Anna, too. I mean, he'd be pretty awesome. He makes some pretty awesome cakes if he absorbed
He could
Anna,
use some
but not
awesome
me.
cake-making ability.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if I get absorbed, or if Anna got absorbed, I don't want to be absorbed with her, so there'd be that. Anywho, Bill asks, if you could be reincarnated, what would you like to become? You cannot become another person.
Okay, is this... I can't become another person, so this is just anything other than a person. What can I become?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Okay, Jewish dog.
Jewish dog.
Jewish dog is the correct answer. Any answer that you guys have aside from that is wrong. Jewish dog is the best answer.
Well, my wrong answer actually involves probably a short-lived, but maybe the best Dungeons and Dragons game I ever played, where the game master was just like, whatever, anything intelligent can be your race. Well, I'll work out the specifics once you decide what it is. And I decided I wanted to be an adventurer on the wrong side of reincarnation spell, and that's how I became a monk who was also a badger. And that badger monk was fun. I was a tiny little fist of the North Star.
In my current D&D group, well, before COVID hit and we all stopped, I was actively playing a squid monster. and that's No, it's not even a squid monster. It's just a tentacle monster. Like, just imagine, like, the tentacles, no... But yeah, I'm playing a
All
tentacle
tentacles, no
monster.
squid.
Yeah, all tentacles, no squid. And let me tell you, it is phenomenal. I love it. Like, it's like, playing non-human is absolutely the way to go. Like, uh, I think we made a rule that, like I have to be able to fit my one bone through something, but my one bone is like only 2 inches wide and flat, so there's a lot I can fit into. Yeah, because I think we looked up the dimensions for like a cuddle bone, and that's what we
Haha.
based my one bone off of.
Oh my.
I mean, I could get down being reincarnated as a sweet pupper. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I mean, also my cat's pretty awesome, so I could be a cat. That'd be down. Either one, that's fine. I just want to, I mean, clearly a slime's already taken, so
Live that easy life.
yeah.
Right.
All right, so let's get into it. Jess at Momocon asks, I need you to address the fact that Rimuru pulls a Griffith and just murdered about, 10,000 people, most of whom were just conscripted soldiers.
Okay, I've been waiting to talk about this the whole time.
Okay. I feel like we need a little setup. Is near the end of the second season, one of the neighboring countries decides they're going to ride in and wreck the slime country.
Tempest.
Tempest. But they need a pretext first. So they send in the evil isekai kids as evil tourists. And they start some shit. And they use that as an excuse to basically slaughter a bunch of Rimuru's people. And they don't even go all out because they had promised not to hurt humans. And Rimuru, it's not out of revenge, but he figures out he can become a demon lord if he devours the souls of enough people. And he can use that power to resurrect all the people they lost. And so my good little slime boy decides it's time to kill all the humans, or at least a decent chunk of them.
So, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I wanted to talk about a human survival mechanism that is the reaction of disproportionate response. Uh, Humans have famously done it and employed this throughout our evolution. It is one of the reasons that we are the top species that we are today. Uh, More or less, a demonstration of it is the near extinction of wolves in the wild, and any other thing that would dare predate on humans. If something is dangerous to human beings, we tend to stomp it out with prejudice. And when Rimuru decides that he's going to kill all those people, that is more or less what is going on. It's a very human thing happening now in the skin of a monster. Um, he has this justification that yes, he's doing it so that he can become a demon lord, but I think an underlying motive there is humans have now demonstrated that they are a valid danger to his people. Part of it was his own fault for saying, now don't hurt, now under no circumstances should you ever hurt a human. But like that all came around to haunt him. But I really do think that what's happened is that he's really realizing that he is a monster, and so he has to think about the safety of monsters before he thinks about the safety of humans. And were the situations reversed, um, if humans were letting monsters into their town and they demonstrated how fully dangerous they were, I don't think it would be very different for any human to sit there and go, okay, well, we have to eliminate all of them. If we said, okay, vampires exist and they can just totally hang out with us, and then 3 vampires just like massacred a bunch of people in the middle of downtown, I don't think the human race would have any problem going, no, that needs to not be allowed to exist. And I think that is some of what is going on with Rimuru.
Although I do love the just when he's like when he's made the decision, he's going to just wipe these people out. He is obviously not entirely happy with it, but it is just like surgical, and he just he does not give them a chance. It is like
Well,
wow.
you can, when he gains the merciless trait, you can see he doesn't like that. Like he even
Yeah.
when he learns what the merciless ability has the capability to do, he's still not really pleased with it. Like he doesn't want to be merciless, but he's made a decision based off a higher level of decision making than base gut emotion. And this is actually a very villainous activity. This is something that is worthy of being called a demon king. Like this is something, like, you know how in WandaVision, how I sat there and went, well, Wanda, she is the protagonist, but she is a villain in her actions here, even though she's not really meaning to, and she's very sympathetic. It's still villainous. Well, Rimuru crosses that line here too. What he's doing is absolutely villainous, but it's a kind of villainy that I think we underestimate our potential as human beings to do this kind of thing.
And
And that's why it's particularly powerful to see it in a
and
story.
by this stage, us the audience know that Rimuru is really powerful, but it is even a little shocking when he decides to just, take the training wheels off and I am going out here to kill people. Just
Well,
how devastating he is.
he's not even he's not it's not even a power issue. Like, he certainly is powerful. He's able to do what he is because he is so powerful, but it's not even just that he has raw brute power. He used his knowledge of actual physics, and he used the powers that he had on hand to devastating efficiency.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't think the show explains exactly what that ability was, but he's essentially just controlling drops of water to
Yeah.
focus sunlight and as precision beams of just pure unstoppable energy. It's why you couldn't really do anything with like actual armor or even magic protection, because it's not magic that's killing you, it's the sun just so microscopically like honed to like laser precision that he's using Great Sage to calculate all the angles for him that it can just go.
And it's
Yeah,
terrifying.
Rimuru is exploiting real science, which is still present in this world and is just not something that civilization has developed yet enough to talk about. Then he's using like the magic system on top of that, and that is what makes Rimuru broken. Like, is that combination and willingness to game both sides of it that make him just unstoppable. And you see it not just in this season 2, but in season 1, when he had the fight with the orc, with the
The orc disaster.
yeah, the orc disaster. He did all this flashy fighting and everything, and it just seemed like, oh no, everything that Rimuru is trying to do to fight this isn't working out. But in the end, he got it down to, no, in the end this was a fight between a slime monster and an orc disaster, and both of these things, so it's to eat or be eaten at its rawest. And it was just really powerful and good.
Well, and also he is also using the whole. I guess I think it's what soft power, or he uses his knowledge of what modern day things can be to leverage it towards becoming a more important city, where he's got more closer to like modern day plumbing. He's got actual hot springs. He brews like brandy and whiskey and stuff. He's creating creature comforts that you just don't really get in a fantasy world, where one of the things the evil isekai kids mention is that the standard of living in Tempest is better than any human city they're in. like Rimuru, and he's taking this monster force, and there's some things about monsters that are different from humans in this world, where the whole concept of paying you for work is very alien to them. They're like, no, you needed it done, so we got it done. I have no need to find food. I have no need. I have shelter. I have a purpose. I have everything I need in life. What do you mean getting paid? I don't need that. He can just create roads. And they'll just do it. They'll build buildings. He can just, things that would take these human nations like a lot of logistical issues to get humans to do it. The monsters don't have to worry about it. No, Rimuru wants it? Down. Let's go. Bet. Like, we'll make it happen. And that's a force that and the book sort of gets it later going like, nah, Rimuru is going to take over the world, y'all, if we don't. I mean, you got to be down with that if you're going to be down with that, because Tempest is becoming a cultural force that we have no defense against. And then I also think, again, these are all monsters. For the longest time, they have lived in a kill or be killed situation. The concept of creature comforts don't really even exist to them. And at his core, even though he's been reincarnated from being a human, Rimuru is still a monster. And I think when he found his own died under his watch, and it was because of his own decisions, that really got to him, and he just suddenly discovered, I'm about to kill 10,000 folks. And I think I'm okay with that. And that's disconcerting. I am a monster, and I'm okay with this. Huh. Well, anyways, let's go.
We'll unpack that after I resurrect my friends.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing. And like I said, the later books, and I'm sure later bits of the anime, will probably get into that at least a little bit. But yeah. So I think this is the time I ask the question, how many awesomes out of awesome do we give that time I got reincarnated as a slime?
10,000.
1,000.
I said 10,000.
Like 10,000. I want to say, I think in the book he killed closer to like 20,000.
Okay,
like
20,000.
He killed way more than
the anime dialed it down a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, because that makes him less of a monster. If he only kills 10,000 people, that makes it more okay. Because boy, it is objectively not okay. At the same time, I'm not really faulting him for it.
Look, that nation decided to F around and find out. They effed around and they found out. And you don't realize just how much that king gets to find out in the future, Kevin.
I hope this is dramatic repercussions for him. Yes, I want him to, live to regret it. But how many?
I think when I was watching that scene when Rimuru decided like he had just found out that his people had been killed, and he'd heard that he had to kill this insane number of people just in order to become a demon lord, so that he could at least even attempt to resurrect his people. And he's like, how am I going to kill 10,000? What 10,000 people am I going to kill? How could I even do that? And then he hears that this army is marching, and is like, I see I have 10,000 volunteers.
I like the moment where he first finds out how many people have died. And just for a second, you basically he's got this he keeps a calm expression, but it's like all of a sudden it's just like his aura leaks out of how angry he is. And you can feel it in his voice, but it's like he keeps so composed, but it's oh, these people are fucked, is what I realized at that moment. Before even resurrecting them became an option, it was like, you done goofed. You done goofed hard. You don't know what you've unleashed.
Out of awesome.
Out of awesome. Yes, all of that. All of awesome.
I'll give it one perfect demon boy of Diablo out of awesome, because oh man, he is He is so... It's like, so, do you want me to just destroy this kingdom for you, boss? And he's like, no, we've already done one. We don't need another one. What? No.
I feel like it's really important as a world leader to have at least that one evil minion who is completely loyal to you, but absolutely willing to do anything awful that's necessary on your behalf.
And that's him.
Yeah.
But this is the OSMcast. Thank y'all so much for listening. The show is edited by Anna, our most wonderful editor ever. The theme song is done by DJ Inabito. You can find it at djinabitu.com. He also Twitches streaming on Twitch, which you can find at Inabito. Also, our buddies John, Dylan, and Mike do streaming at These Are VG for These Are Video Games. Please visit the website, awesomecast.com. Go ahead and there's some links you can click on, like our Patreon if you want to give us some cash. Our server fees would greatly appreciate it. There's our Discord where you can come and hang out and talk to us about things. Also, you can leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts. They're pretty much them and Stitcher are the only two places, apparently, that you can leave reviews. And most people still get their podcasts from Apple Podcasts. And they can find the OSMcast easier if you give us 5-star reviews. So it would be incredibly useful if you could do that for us. Also, of course, we're on Twitter and Facebook at OSMcast. I'm on Twitter at It's Basil Time. Kevin's on Twitless_Kevin. Anna's at Angel Darkfire. The middle A is missing. You can find Doug on Redbubble at Ubitsu. And I think that'll do it for us. Thank you all very much for listening. And until next time, we're out.